Hello, and welcome to this first iMovie tutorial. In this segment, we're just going to learn how to import your clips into iMovie, how to arrange your first draft, and we're going to stop at that point so we don't get too much in the weeds because there's a lot to learn. So let's get right to it. All right, so here we are. My very messy desktop. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find your hard drive that has all your project information on there, including the icon for the project that I already started for you. So I'm going to click open our hard drive right in this mess right here. So my iMovie project, but in this case, we'll call it a library. Every time you make a library, you're going to see this. We'll define library in a minute. Mine is called Group Zero, and it's this is a film strip, and it's orange. So double click it to safely open it. When I say safely open it, I mean that it is possible to use the default iMovie library that is on everybody's computer and accidentally work in the wrong library. It happens all the time. So this is a safe way. Go to your hard drive, double click, and we're going to open up iMovie for your project. Here we are. This is the project that I'm borrowing this little bit of video from Group One. Thank you, Group One, for allowing us to use your 20-minute interview segment. So here is our interface. And remember what I said, the name of our library or that project icon, the film strip, was called Group Zero. Here it is. Now, in this case, let's talk about the organization a little bit. So what we have in here is the library, which is everything. It's just a file or folder that has everything. But then it's further organized into groupings. In this case, the interview, and here's the interview, and photos, for instance. There is a photo in there. And another one might be audio. So let's make one real quick. And to do that, you can just, I know the shortcut, which is Option N, or you can go up to the menu to File, New, and Event. It's called Event, but it's really just a folder to be able to organize everything. So I'm going to do Option N right now. It defaults to the date, but let's put audio. Not that we're going to use it, but that's how you do it. Right now, nothing in there. We have our interview in there and one photo. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to import this video into the project. So right now on our timeline is how we're going to create the movie. So I'm going to just delete this and let me say a word. I'm going to press delete and it's gone. It's not really gone because iMovie, like a lot of video editing programs, uses a reference. All that you see here is only a reference to what is back here on your hard drive. It's just a reference. These are the real files. If you delete that, it is really gone. But if you delete things in the project, it's just a reference to this file back here, a folder. And also, that's why it's so important to have things in one place. Okay, so that's a bit about the philosophy of how iMovie organizes things. So right now, I'm going to delete this. And guess what? It's not really deleting, is it? There we have it. It's gone, but it's not gone because guess what? It is still back here. Okay. So let's import that in here real quick. So the quickest, you can navigate to it if you want, but and that's option one. You can certainly do that. Fastest way is just drag it right in there. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got this back here, and I happen to know it's Group One, and we're going to get the proper interview file here, which is this one here. And this one, these have been fixed when you see synchronize clip. We have optimized the audio for you and reconstituted your original video so that you'll have the best that we can deal with. Okay, so I'm going to just drag it right down here into the interview, right? And see the little plus sign, let go. And there it is again. So It just, sometimes you might see a little dial going here to tell you that it's importing, but it's a short video, 20 minutes. So it didn't take much time. All right, so we have it in there. Next, we are going to start out by making a rough cut. That's really our object here, is to make a rough cut. All the steps needed to make a rough cut to do the segments of this long 20-minute video and put it down here. Clips in a row. Now I've already made the project. The project is the timeline that you need to put that on there. So let me show you where that is. It's back here in projects. And I've already made this. I'll make another one to show you how to do that. But I'm going to just double click this. And now we're back to where we were. I'm going to repeat that. But this time I'm going to look up at the top and we see this media and project. We're already in projects. But media, if we do that, and this is going to happen to you, and I want you to pay attention to this because you won't know what happened. And we will go back, but there's no timeline. So you're like, what? What's happened here? I've lost it. All that work. No, you haven't lost it. Just go back to projects. And let's click on the project now, right here. There we have it. All right. There it is. See? Okay. Now we're ready to go. We have this little condensed 20-minute interview right there. We can't work on that. We're going to have to zoom into it and expand it so that it wraps around and around. So to do that, over here, a little gear icon, we're going to zoom in. And we're going to do it enough so we can see the audio. And by the way, if you don't see this audio, just click this right here to show the waveforms. That's really, really useful for telling who's talking, when anyone is talking and when they're not. These flat parts that you see with no waves, no peaks, no jagged peaks, no one's talking there, but they're talking here. So really, really good place to start and stop the beginning and end of the clip that you're just about to make. All right, so we've expanded it and now we're ready to make some choices. So to play through here, wherever that end of that, where you leave the mouse and click, that's where it's going to start playing. And also notice the yellow around there, it selected the entire clip. So let's play. You can use the space bar, start.
Y después, Valeria,
Stop, start.
puede,
I'm just pressing it,
hay
start.
una manera que puedes cambiar como la posición del.
Okay, so that's one way. The better way for this is to use your J, K, and L keys, J, K, and L, where L advances it. I'm just going to tap it once.
De la computadora, solo porque no creo que.
The K key stops it, and the J key, which would be on the left side of the K, goes backwards. Now, if you tap it a couple of times, like J, I'm just tapping the J key a couple of times, and then K stops.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how you go back and forth by just using the keyboard. Very, very handy and very useful. I suggest you get used to doing that. You'll be a pro in about 5 minutes. Okay, conveniently located above the J, K, and L key are the I and the O for in and out. So,
Y después, Valeria,
start right here. I've decided, because I can see from the waveform, that's when she's talking right there. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to press the I for in and watch what happens. Now we're going to, the boundary jumps right there to the end point. I'm going to use the L key to go forward.
Y después, Valeria, puede, hay una manera que puedes cambiar la posición, no creo que vamos a eso, Valeria, no sé.
So let's just say right there, stop. And I don't have to be too precise on this. And I'll explain why in just a second. So O for out. There we have it. Now, the important part, we're going to mark these clips. And we're going to utilize the ability of iMovie to mark clips using the F key, which is for favorite. We're going to tell iMovie to make this a favorite section. So just type the letter F. And now do you see what happened? There's a green line up there. I'm going to click out of this so we can see it a little bit better. But anyway, we're out of the window here. Now you can see the green line. There we have it. Now that is a selection. Now let's just go, let's repeat this a couple of times. J, K, and L. Here we go. K is stop. L. I for in, and O for out, and F for favorite, for in, O
Ok, entonces yo
for
estoy haciendo eso, ¿no?
for favorite, so on and so forth. That's how you could kind of, I guess, sample the entire clip. And you could do it in one pass, and don't worry about it. We can always trim the edges of this. I'll explain why in a minute, why we can do that. And let's just say you got to the end of this and you've done this throughout. And even if they're iffy, you're not sure, you say, well, I might use this, I might that. So now we're going to filter it. And we're only going to have at our disposal the favorite clips or the selected clips. Here we go. It says all clips up here. It's showing all. Now we're going to drop this down to favorites. And now we have these. And you can imagine there'll be a whole bunch. Well, they look alike, so you can't really tell what they are, and you can't actually label them, but you can do this. So I'm going to select like this one, and I'm just going to play a few seconds of it. And the fastest way to do that is to press the / on your keyboard.
No sé si puedas, pero cambiar como para que tu posición
And so
esté enfrente
stop
de donde está la luz, para que se vea más.
Then you
Ok,
can,
voy a intentar mover la mesa.
if I press the /
No sé si puedas, pero cambiar como para que tu
there we go. And you can tell in a few seconds which one that is. By the way, one way you could tell, it says 17.2 seconds up here. And that's one way you could tell. But there's no like direct way to label these. All right. So that's how you do it. Oh, and let's do one more. So I'm gonna unselect this because I need to get back to my big interview, don't I? So I'm going to go back from favorites to all. So let's do a couple more here. So I'm going to play J,
Me llamo Nadia y estoy estudiando universidad.
O, and favorite. And it's
Mi
still
nombre es Alexandra Relmuto y estoy estudiando
Hi.
Ciencias de Educación.
O.
Mi nombre es Alexandra también, o
I'm gonna
Alex,
stop
y
with the
estudio
keyboard.
las
Okay.
ciencias
Stop with the space
políticas y
bar. There we have it. Let's filter that again to favorites. There we have it. Now look, we add it up. All right, now let's just say, well, this is just a demonstration. So I'm going to choose. So I've played these. I say, okay, and I'm doing the /
Acá se ve mejor.
Say, okay, that's it. And I'm going to choose this to go as my first one. Okay. So how do I get it down there? You could drag it if you want. That's one way. And Command Z, we know what that is, undoes. So I'm going to, the other way is to append it. So I'm going to type the letter E and it goes down there. And I said, this is my second one. Type the letter E, it goes to the end. Okay. And then let's do this one. Type the letter E, goes to the end. And that's, you're building up your timeline, see? Now let's say, okay, actually, I wanted this one to go here in the middle. And that's how you rearrange your clips. Very, very simple. And if you wanted one to go on top, you could do that. But this is the quick way to make these clips in a row. Notice here that it's got the orange. That's telling us that it's down here. Okay, and you can also tell where this is in the whole timeline. So let's unfilter this again by all clips. And let's say, where is this in the whole timeline? Or actually this one, let's do this one. Where is this in the whole interview? So I'm going to like right click on the Mac is control click. And let's bring this down so we can see what we're doing here. So right click, reveal in project media, or you can do Shift F if you want. So I'm just gonna do it this way. And there, that is that clip. That's a very handy thing to know. Right there we have that. Okay, so, and let's filter them again. So make sure you're in the library. If we're up here and we're trying to, there's no favorites. No favorites in the project. This is the project icon right here, but you want to make sure you're in the library for favorites. So let's do all clips and then favorites. So we're back to that. Just in case that happens, make sure you're in the library. All right. Now let's see why we don't have to worry about the edges so much. Okay, this is called non-destructive editing. So that means literally that each one of these clips are actually the full 20-minute clip. It's just that the edges are invisible, and that's why you can drag like so. Okay, so that's how you could fine tune the edges. All right, you can also Command C for copy and Command V for paste. You can copy and paste them if you want. So you see the process just for getting your rough draft. Now there's other things that we're going to be using just because we have this gallery of faces. Some people don't. Probably the people with the gallery are going to have a little more options. The next tutorial is going to be all about how to work with this situation right here. So I think that's about it, with one final reminder that iMovie and Final Cut Pro, those are programs that you do not need to save. In fact, there's no save on here. So all you do is you just click it off and it saves. So you can undo all the way back to the time we open this up. But once we close it, I'm going to close it and then we're going to open it up again. And here it is. Double click. And it is precisely the way we left it. Yeah. So it saves dynamically is what that's called. It will save in the background and it will save you the anxiety of saving, but also comfort in knowing that your project is saved. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. First, get the rough draft. Get the transcript. You're going to need it anyway for the last part, which is putting in the subtitling, and we'll use Final Cut Pro for that. So, all right. Well, that's it. Thanks, and happy editing.